So again friends, welcome. Now we will go into RKWard, the GUI based R for statistics, and we'll learn the basic of any software package which is required so that we can operate on the package. Okay. Now first thing first, on the at the end of the slides I have given a link. So from the link we will download the CSV file. That CSV file is downloaded. We will see the location. So currently this is the location or that CSV file. Now as I was telling you, we will try to import the slides, the data. Okay, last class this is what we did. We introduced the spreadsheet, how do we arrange data in that, and then GUI based and command line based some softwares, and from that we selected R, and from R GUI we are going for RKWard. Now this is the agenda. We will learn what is the how to import data in this, what is the workspace, which we have already talked about. We will talk in detail, and we will see some demonstration, command logs, and very important, data types. When we say data types, this is where our first stats class will begin. Okay. So now this is the sequence. You can see import, and now I will do it parallelly. So I will press Alt Tab. So this is my RKWard. Now I go here, I say import, import format. My format is CSV text, so I go there. As I told you, you can check the file from here. You go here and download. After download, you click here. Now this is the name of the data you want to give. This complete data file will be referred by one name, and that we will see. Here are the details of the data which we have, and then we will press submit. Now you see this is my data. Okay. I did tell you that I will show you how the data looks like. Now CSV file can also be opened in Excel, and here you see we have opened the Excel. Now this is what data is. These are the headers, these are the entries. So the first entry is 493 and then 557, and serial number, key, these are the headers. So let us check, has RKWard given us that? Now that is what has given. It has given us the names. Now also it has given the entries. So first step, our data has been successfully imported. Okay. Now we will definitely go ahead. So first thing first, we have done that, and this is what I was trying to tell you. Okay. Now on the right hand side of the screen you will see that there are mention of the names. Okay. Names in the alphabetical order. So what does that mean? That means if you go to Workspace and our data, these are all the variables, name in alphabetical order. This order, in which the headers are written, is different from the way the headers are given here, because this is the way we have written, this is alphabetically. Okay. So that is not to be confused upon. That's like serial number will be quite below when we go to S. Yeah, SC, S. Okay. Yeah, small s, ln. So capital S is different from small s. So all the headers are there. Okay, but not in the same order as mentioned in the file. That is not a big deal. This is just for simplicity, what has been done. Okay. Now coming back. Now what I wanted to tell you is that the advantage of RKWard is that it helps you to also work through GUI and console. Now what do I mean by that? Now this command in blue is actually the command which got executed when we click the buttons of import data and then CSV and other things which were already there, and as you see the result is my CSV data. So this is the complete code which ran at the back end when we were clicking the GUI buttons. On the other hand, there are some people who are good at command line, R Studio people or R base people. They also can use the console. So let us get to the console. You see here is the console button. Okay, this console. So when you click console, you see a similar icon, simple cursor blinking, which tell us what it is, a R console. Okay. Now, let me tell you what the data, how do we work upon this, some commands. So, this command called class my.csv.data will give me a reply that the class of this data type is data frame. So, we will discuss about these things little bit later, that apart from data types there are data structure. So, this is a data structure or data class. Okay, those who have understanding object oriented programming or OOPS in C++ or C might know a difference between class and structure. So, this is what it is. So, it is a class of data frame type. Now, what is the dimension of that class? So, the dimension is 590 into 180. So, there are 590 entries and 180 headers. 180 headers are there, and this can also go more in number. So, that is not a concern for us, but what I was trying to tell you, do not just think that we have to just click buttons. No, you can also do a GUI command line based R analysis here. Now, coming back. So, let us see a basic command. Does the GUI result and the command line result are same? So, this is a command, as you can see, which is written here, to calculate the mean of a particular header. So, now you might be little skeptical about it, I know it. So, I am just telling you the way. So, we calculate mean, we call the function mean, then we call the data set my.csv.data, then we tell the variable name. So, you see I am referring to this JP01, okay, and now if I click enter, I will get a mean of 4. So, by command line I got the mean of JP01 variable, which is here. If I scroll it down, I think JP is quite ahead, yeah, this one, this is there, okay. So, we have got the average through command line. Now, I will show you same result will be coming through GUI, okay. So, if I go in analysis, I go on descriptives, I am calculating descriptive statistics JP01 and I calculate it, and I want just the mean. Okay, and I submit. See 4.07281, 4.07281. So, again at the background what happened? This is the command it ran. My CSV result data frame, the mean is calculated here. So, either through GUI or to command line you will get the same results. If you want to know which button of GUI is giving which commands, you can go to the command log and see them. If you do not want to use any command and you just want to work through GUI, then we all have tabs here which we can learn, and we will learn about these more. Okay. This is what I was trying to tell you. Now, there is something called Workspace. What is Workspace? Workspace is everything which you do in this complete sheet and in this session. Okay. So, now this is one data type called mycsv.data. Now, I can also say no, I also want to calculate some equations or some other variables. So, let's say x is equal to 1 and telling about workspace. So, x is equal to 1, y is equal to x plus 1. These are the two variables which are created. Now, we will save this workspace. Save workspace as test our data. We click here, and now it is already there. I am just overwrite. Okay, and now we will close it. So when we now close it, it will also ask to save everything. So we will save selected. Okay. So workspace can be saved. Now this is very important thing, as we have showed, and we will talk about data types. Now this is where our stats begins. We need to understand what are data types. So before coming back to this slide and going to the RKWard, I will just show you the following slides and we will talk about data types. Okay, don't get little feared up that what is this. Okay, first we look at the most rightmost column, statistical data types. There are 4 standard statistical data types: nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. So when we say nominal, it can also be called as something as a nomenclature. We have to name it. When we say ordinal, any variable which helps us to find an order is called ordinal. When we say interval, any data which helps to capture ranges is called interval data or range, and any data which is measurement like weight, height, that is called ratio, and many a times in some packages it is called scalar. Okay. So now I will again describe nominal. What does nominal mean? Nominal means name. So am I fat or thin? If you are describing me as a person. So if you say I am fat, it's just a name. Fat and thin are not comparative just by English. You have to give meaning to them. Okay. If I say Ram and Shyam, they are 2 names. So therefore I say things like names, adjectives, those are very much a nominal variable, and primarily they are character based. Okay, and we will see what does it mean. So what is the gender, male or female? So this is character based, though you can also say 0 and 1. We can do that, but when we say 0 and 1, we do not say 1 is more than 0 here, because the 1 is just a name and 0 is just a number. Like Virat Kohli's shirt number is 18, Dhoni's shirt number was 17. That does not mean Dhoni was always ahead of Virat Kohli, or somebody's shirt number was 99, so he is always at the behind. It's just a name. Okay, so the names are called nominal variables. Ordinal variables are like rank 1, 2, 3, place in the university, first, second, third. Okay, these are ranks. So these are ordinal variables which define order. Here the number do make sense. If I am 1 and somebody else 2, that means I am ahead of 2 in some parameters. So here the difference between nominal and ordinal is that there is a relationship between the numbers which are given. It is not just string or characters. Okay, so there is a difference. Like you have a high school, you have a secondary school. By default, we say that secondary school is ahead of high school. Okay, so there is a order. If you say male and female, you cannot say male is ahead, female is ahead. You have to give it a meaning. The moment you give it a meaning and have some other parameters, it tends to become ordinal. Okay. Now comes the interval. Our tax slabs, 0 to 5 lakhs, 5 to 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs and above. So you might be 8 lakhs or 6 lakhs, you fall in the same slab. Okay. Now here we have more information as compared to, because 1 and 2 can be differed by 1 marks and 2 and 3 can be differing by 10 marks. Okay. So the difference between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 is not clear in ordinal. But when we come to range, it is slightly better. We try to say the first slab is 5 lakhs, the second slab is 5 lakhs, or the way we define ranges, it depends on that. So there is an inherent meaning which we are trying to provide the way we define the interval. It is the way we define the interval, the meaning is there. Okay. Now last comes the ratio, which means the scalar data, which actually means that there is a number which is measured. What is the height? What is the weight? and as written in the slide, it represents an absolute 0. What does it mean? We can have a 0 weight and it does make sense. We can have a 0 height. We can have 0 decibels. Okay. In this way, the data type, 4 data types, nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio are statistically defined. Now, when it comes to R, it is called a string, it is called, ordinal is called factor, and both interval and ratio are taken numeric. So, please understand, though they both are numeric in our understanding, still there is a different meaning when we come to statistical data type. Okay. And lastly, there are data type which is not in statistics, but in our language there is something called logical data type, which is again what we say true or false type, 1 or 0, binary logic. So, now why I was talking about this? So, let us go back to our data. Here if you see, my name is a string, as we told, the name of the person who has filled this survey, this is my thesis survey, and age is numeric. We expect age to be numeric, 31, 32, 33, numeric and scalar, not interval. However, this age 3 group, what is this? I have defined, I have separated age into 3 groups. So, less than 18, 18 to 35 and 35 and plus. So, these are the 3 groups I have modified. Okay. And as you can see, those who are from 30 years are in group 2, they are more than 36 are in group 3. Again in this way the groups are there. So, this 2, 3, 2, this numbering is actually a range. So, now this numeric and this numeric are very different. We have to understand this. This numeric, if I say 2 plus 1 here, it will also give 3. If I say 3 plus 1 here, it will give 4. That calculation R will not differentiate, but we have to understand that 3 is our maximum category. So, this is our interval data type. Okay. Now, comes here gender 1 0. Now, as I told you, I had coded all male as 1, all female as 0. Why I did that? That we will not talk about later right now here. It was a thing, advanced thing which we will talk about later maybe. So, all M were called as 1 or F were called as zeros. However, now you see this 1 and this 0 is just a name. It is not an order. It is not a measurement. Neither it is a range. So, here we have to change it to a string. And as you see, the moment I made it a string, all of them became right handed. On the left side they have come. So, that is the nomenclature. If number 1 is a numeric, it is written on the right side of the cell. If number 1 is a character 1, it is written on the left side. Okay. In this way, this is called data preparation. R has understood this, yes, that is fine, because we wrote it 1 0. So, by default it will take 1 as numeric and 0 also as numeric, but our 1 and 0 were alphabetically having alphabetical meaning, they were not numeric. I cannot say 1 minus 1 is 0 because my 1 is a male. So, male minus 1 is not female. Okay. So, in this way, when we analyze our data, we have to check for all of the names like string. By default, wherever there is an alphabet, it will come as a string. Okay. String or a character, it will be a name. Okay. So, please understand. Now, this 0.0, please understand, again it is an issue. It is taking as in character. So, we have to change this to numeric, and now it all becomes. So, you have to check it. That is one thing you have to do. Now, computer should do it. Yes, computer will do it, but if your inherent way of defining the data is little bit different, then you have to pay attention to it. Okay. So, please see, in this way we are just seeing all the variables Seems fine. So as I told you, data type is very important. 4 data types are there in stats at a statistical conceptual level. However, when it comes to softwares, it is numeric or string, or for R it's a factor. What is a factor? Factor is sampling order. I don't have an order data here, an ordinal data, because I have not taken rank somewhere, but we need to understand that. Okay, so this is what data types are, and this is what I showed you. Now they are okay. Now this is just for information, nothing to do right now about stats, because statistics we will not at basic level deal with complex numbers. However, R also has other data types called integer, complex, logical and numeric we have discussed, and string. So complex and integer, like you understand, complex is a variable which has a iota associated with it, as we say 2 plus 3i, and integer is a variable which does not have any decimal value. 18.1 and 18.2 both are 18. Okay, so this is the way to define them if you want to. I am not stressing too much on that. Now again, don't get lost. This is data structure in R. Even if you don't know this, you can go ahead in the course, but this is required if you want to build on R, because I am combining both things here. Okay, so there are vectors, matrices, lists, data frames, as you saw. Our class of my data.csv was a data frame, and factor was the variables which were supposed to be categorized ordinal. So apart from giving the data type like number, how is a complete number associated and stored? A data frame is different from a matrix, though both look like a tabular column. Okay, in matrix mostly the elements are similar. In data frame, first row could be alphabets, first column can be names, second columns can be marks, then third column can be email address, as we have in our data. Therefore it's called a data frame. It is combination. Okay, matrix, if you define a 2 cross 2 matrix, all elements have to be either character or string, or okay, though advanced thing we will go about that in later. So this is what we have defined. Now more, the view above this bar is called variable view, and this is called data view. So in many softwares there is a separate tab called variable view, data view. Variable view means you modify the information about the variable, just like we did we modified the information about some of the variables. Okay, and there are multiple things, as we can go here, we will not talk about it. Label is a description. Generally label is the description which you give to the list, like age to information about the variable. Okay, so in the variable view you have to describe what does this variable key means. Like if I say name, then I will say this, the age of name of employee filling the survey. So the label can have multiple one sentence description which will be there. So keep that in mind. So why this is required label? Because we do not know what is this variable, what is that variable. So when we are transferring file to other people and we are sharing our file, then we need to put the details on the label, that this variable measures this variable measures that. And sometimes we are measuring like questions like what is your expectation out of this product, are you satisfied with this or not, rate 1 to 5. Now this is a complete statement, but you will write in the name variable expectation. So what does expectation mean? So you will write the question here. Okay, so in this way we can describe our variables every time here. Okay, in the variable view. You don't know which variable, what is MANF, you don't know that. So a same way to do it, especially when you are doing collaboration, write it. 0 means this, 1, so 1 here means it's a manufacturing sector, 0 means it is not manufacturing sector. Okay, in this way we need to define, though statistically operations will not differ, because these are just details of your variables. You need to understand them, but for data preparation, this is a very important step. Whenever you are collaborating, you should describe your variable not just in your head, but also in the sheet. Now, what we are trying to tell you is, if we check the dimension of our CSV data, this is 590th 181 entries. So, one entry is extra as we have done some processing, no problem. Now, suppose you want to have some processing on some column, let us say age, okay, and you want to say there is a variable called new age, which should be age minus 5, let us put it this way, okay. So, all entry 30th will become day 25. Now, we put enter here, and now as we can see, the age has decreased, okay. So, in this way we can process all the information. Now, I was also telling you, suppose you want to access this element study. So, what we can do, we can say give me the first element of my CSV data frame and the column name study, and this the first entry is 2, okay, this one. Similarly, second entry, okay, and with this there are lots of processings which can be done. We will not go in detail in our sorting down, ascending, descending, that all is possible. All operations on particular column is possible. That is not the scope of the course right now, because that will involve little bit advanced skills for data processing. Okay. Now, we will halt this session and we will talk about in next session about some graphs. Thank you.